Hi, this video is an introduction for Google Docs. Google Docs is Google's word processing application, and it has many features that are helpful in doing a word processing document. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to narrow some of the topics to some that I use often and I feel are very helpful, which are creating and naming a document, setting margins for the document, adjusting the fonts and the appearances of your text, paragraph justification, setting and using tabs, creating hyperlinks, translating the document, and showing revision history. So to get started, I'm going to go to Google Drive and select New and Doc. This creates a new document, and right away in the top left corner, this is currently an untitled document, and I want to retitle it so I can find it later. So by clicking on Untitled Document, a box comes up where I can retitle the document. In this case, I'm going to call it Kathy's Summer Letter. And click OK. Automatically, my letter is going to be retitled in the top corner, and I'm ready to start typing my text. Now, for the sake of this video, it's helpful to show some of these editing tools with actual text. So I've created a sample text that we are going to edit and experiment with a little bit. So the next feature I'd like to show is how to reset the margins. So by default, in Google Docs automatically sets up a 1-inch margin on each side of the paper. If I wanted to change this, I would go to File, Page Setup, and I might want to adjust my left and right margins, say for example, to 0.75. When I type worksheets for my students, I actually use this often because it allows me to widen my paper a little bit. And a nice thing about 0.75 margins is when I copy things through the copy machine and I hole punch things, my text is not affected. Next, along the top menu bar here is where I'm going to adjust some of my fonts and the appearance of the text. So I can adjust the font type, the font size, I can make things bold, italics, underline, and I can change the color of my text. So for example, I'm going to take the first paragraph, I'm going to change the font, change the size, and make it bold. For my second paragraph, I will choose a different font, a larger size, and I'm going to make that text red. And for my third paragraph, I'm going to choose yet another font, another size, and I'm going to make this text green. So there are many options for font type, size, and extra features to sort of personalize, in this case, my letter or any document that you're creating. Also, along this top menu bar are different ways of spacing and organizing your text. So for example, if I wanted to center this top paragraph, I can click anywhere in the text and just click center, and it just takes that one particular paragraph and centers it. Next, with my second paragraph, I could make it right justified, so it's justified along the right margin. Or I could take this final paragraph and justify it so the text goes from margin to margin. So I can either change the justification and the spacing of the document in different chunks, or if I want to change everything back, I can also select any text that I would like to adjust In this case, I'm going to change things back to left justified, and it changes all of the text, so I don't have to do each paragraph individually. With Google Docs, when you start typing text, it automatically aligns things with the left margin. So if I were writing a longer document or a formal paper of some kind and I wanted to add tabs, what I would do is I would click in this ruler bar where I would want the tab to occur, and I have the option to add a left tab stop. Then if I click in front of the text that I'd like to adjust, I can just hit tab on my keyboard, and it adjusts and automatically indents where I selected for my tab stop to occur. Another neat use of tabs is if I come down to this part of my document, and if this were a letter that I wanted to create a closing for, I could click Add Center Tab Stop. And what that does, if I tab over then, I could create a closing for my letter. And the center tab stop, where I create the tab stop, it centers my text from that point. Next, I'm going to demonstrate how to create a hyperlink. So for example, if I wanted people to be able to find out more information about Jackson, Wyoming, I can highlight the text that I would like to be the hyperlink, click on the little chain link here, and when I choose this, Google suggests different possible links, or I could insert my own link. In this case, I'm going to choose the Jackson Hole Chamber of Commerce and apply that link, and the hyperlink is now created. Another feature of Google Docs that I use for my classroom purposes is to translate a document, and automatically I can just stay in this window, and if I choose Tools and Translate Document, I can retitle this as the Spanish sample text. I can choose the language of Spanish and just choose Translate. And Google Docs opens a new tab with this document translated into Spanish. My original document, if I look at the tabs at the top of my screen, the original document is still here, but in a separate tab is the Spanish version of that same document. One last feature of Google Docs that I'm going to discuss right now is how to show the revision history of a document. Because Google Docs automatically saves changes as I make them, if I click on this link, a new window opens up on the right side of my screen. Down at the bottom, I have the option to show more detailed revisions. So this is a series of all the revisions that I've made to this in this document during the last few minutes. And if for some reason I wanted to undo some of the different changes that I've made, I'm able to go back in time and click on different variations of the letter. If for some reason I wanted to go back to the original, I could just click on Restore this revision, and all the changes that I had made would be undone, and I'd be back at my original version. So I hope this has been a helpful introduction to Google Docs and all of the features that it offers. Thanks.